Hello, welcome to episode 8 of PCP. I'm trying to speak a little lower to make it sound better in the mic. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Because I'm getting picked up just fine. So today we're going to talk about the Horsecast, which in many ways was the precursor to the Procrastinators podcast. Now, the Horsecast was a podcast itself, and you also remember that TBAP itself was a podcast. So many members of the PCP have had extensive podcasting experience before the Procrastinators podcast started, before even Horsecast started. You'll remember the Digibro has been doing a radio show with Cider, Pub Crawl, for like a year now. That'll get its own episode because I say it well. Listen to the Pub Crawl. I promise it's great. The Horsecast was originally when Digi and Jess came together to make a podcast about pony. Alright? Now, we don't know when the Horsecast originally started. The reason we don't know is that a lot of them were deleted or lost time. The creators of the Horsecast don't really think that they... Endless Jess, he's not very... Didn't know that would happen. Not a very strong doorknob. He didn't really... He doesn't have the greatest esteem for his own previous work and doesn't really care about tossing it out now and then, which I'd have to disagree for because I am an internet historian, but you know, he can do he is free to do what he wants with his own content. So we don't know when the first Horsecast occurred. We do know that there was one, perhaps a second, on January 4th of 2014. Yes, we finally made it to 2014. This is when things start to get interesting. And the Horsecast was just Jesse and Digi talking about stuff. The reason we know that it was not the first is because a lot of this information was remembered and saved by a very powerful fan. One of the few fans more powerful than me that we will be talking about a few episodes from now. I'm really looking forward to it because he's awesome. Anyway, so basically they just talked about pony. And, also, around this time, oh, yes, nice H. Endless Jess, on January 3rd that year, released Bats, his horseshoe review for Bats. Now, Bats, that being the episode of My Little Pony he was reviewing, and that got like 4 million views. So Endless just kind of blew up. No one knows why. We think it's, was it Pinkie Pie's ass in the thumbnail? It was an ass in the thumbnail. Anyway, to quote Jeff Fu, thematically relevant, ass in the thumbnail. Anyway, I can't wait till I make a video with my own thematically relevant ass in the thumbnail. Anyway, so, one day I'll be a real boy. It's B-O-I, not B-O-Y. So, but so far we only have 2. When do the rest come into play? So basically this is where they all meet. So first, Give and Take. So Give and Take was first on the Horsecast with Jesse without Digi on February 18th of 2014. Alright? So, how did Jesse meet Gibbon? Now, remember, Gibbon and Hippo are the same person. So, Jesse, is obviously very cool, very popular, and Hippo wanted to get his attention, so he made a video. Now, you remember how Hippo got the attention of the rest of the analysis community by making his analysis compilation video? Well, he got Jesse's attention by making a video called The Faggotry of Jesse Wood, which is the only time Jesse's real name will be spoken on this channel. Unless Jesse's real name is Jesse Wood. He doesn't like for you to use his real name, and it's considered disrespectful to do so, and I suggest that you respect people's rights on the internet, especially the rights of the only person I've ever met or seen on the internet that I'm kind of scared of. So, yeah, he's just Watch Jesse's content and you'll understand. There's plenty of other names to address him by. Don't worry about it. You can. I'm not gonna try. I don't want to speak for him. I'm just regurgitating what he said before. I don't want to misunderstand his intentions. He's a nice guy. He's a really. Just watch his content yourself. Anyway, all these guys, watch all their content, unless you don't want to. But always watch my content, because if not now, eventually, I will be better than all of these guys put together. A man could dream, right? Anyway, so, yeah. So, he makes a video called The Faggotry of Jesse Wood, in which he compiles every time Jesse used the word faggot in one of his videos. It's about a 2-minute long video, and it's awesome. So, Jesse, yeah. So Gibbon takes on the Horsecast, February 18th, 2014. Now, how did T-Bap come in? So we don't know how T-Bap eventually... Alright, so around March, T-Bap makes a questionnaire video, a question and answer video, in which they just respond to some questions they've been getting. And in that video, they talk about YouTubers they're big fans of, and they mention Endless Jess, and they mention specifically the Endless Jess song, Butt Chucker, which I would suggest you all listen to, because it's way better than you think it is, and it's also got kind of a really high twist ending. So they get invited on the Horsecast, and we don't know when they joined precisely, because again, most of the Horsecasts have been wiped out. But we do know they were on April 22nd of 2014. Okay? So, which also, we're in the ballpark of talking about Jesse's Kayfabe Commander videos. He launched Kayfabe Commander. I think it was originally called the Kayfabe King, not completely sure. A channel about wrestling. I remember Endless is really into wrestling. And he launched this in which he would review WrestleMania events and some of the pay-per-view shows. And he makes really long-form vlog content. I know he's not very proud of it because he kind of hates vlogs because they drive him insane. But I actually may enjoy the videos on his Kayfabe Commander channel more than anything else. It's just the passion that in which Endless just talks about the subject material and the way he discusses like this stuff and he gives you the history of all of these. He basically convinced me, he along with Max Landis' Wrestling Isn't Wrestling video, convinced me that wrestling is like a high art form. And they're really awesome videos. And he's able to just weave this web of history and power throughout these videos. So, now you may have noted, I have now talked about Tommy Oliver. Tommy Oliver will join is Digi's friend. He will join everyone else later. Remember, Munchie is also friends of Digi. Munchie's like, 13 at this point, so he's not that active. He just draws Digi's avatars. And talks to him on Skype on occasion. So that's where we are. Now everyone's in Pony. So we're in phase 2, where everyone has come together in Pony. So now for phase 3, which is going to be the Pony diaspora. Because now that everyone's come together, things are going to come apart. And one by one, each member that I've talked about is going to leave the Pony analysis community. Because at this point, the Pony analysis community is really huge. Digi is not the biggest, but he kind of started it, and now there's other guys. Again, the only one I know about is Dr. Wolf, but there's a huge, massive group. So the Pony analysis community is huge, but that itself is only a small subsection of the giant Brony fandom. And the Brony fandom is basically getting... We're reaching Season 4, Season 3. We're reaching critical mass for the Pony fandom. And at this point, things are going to start to fall apart. And surprise, surprise, brony fans could be a little toxic, and autist, and weird, and essentially, for one reason or another, over the course of 2014, 2015, each member of the PCP will leave, at least for a time, the pony community, and will begin becoming real boys. And that will be discussed in episode 9, when we're going to talk about the first person to leave, which was Digibro. And that's where his career is going to get fascinating. So join me for that. Like, comment, subscribe. If you comment, I promise to comment back. Comment with questions, things I got wrong. Yell at me. What I can answer things if you want me to clear something up. Please add all this to the Procrastopedia, because I'm too lazy to. Yeah, and that's about it. Just watch the next video.